Welcome to my channel, Boxing Ballad. Raymond Ford entered the ring with the confidence of a man who had just gone 12 tough rounds with Ray Vargas for the WBC Featherweight title, though that bout ended in a draw. It cemented Ford as a legitimate contender in the division, and it was enough to earn him another opportunity, this time for the vacant WBA Featherweight Championship. Across the ring stood NickBall, the Liverpool-born pressure fighter with an undefeated record and an iron will, looking to claim his first world title in what was being billed as a true crossroads bout between skill and strength. From the outset, both fighters exuded focus and respect. They touched gloves and locked in. The opening round was more tactical than explosive, as Ford tried to establish his range and set the tempo. He moved laterally, working behind precise southpaw jab and mixing in occasional shots to the body. Ball, as expected, began to stalk forward. His feet were always inching closer, cutting off the ring and forcing Ford to work harder defensively. Ford was slick early. His timing was sharp, and he landed several clean counters, especially when Ball leaned in with wide shots. Ball's head movement wasn't quite synced up yet, and Ford capitalized on it. He dug to the body, then came up top with accurate left hands. The first two rounds looked like a masterclass of movement and control from Ford. His combinations were sharp, and he was doing just enough to keep Ball off rhythm. But what NickBall lacks in finesse, he more than makes up for in grit and power. From round 3 onward, the tide started to turn. Ball found more success backing Ford to the ropes, using his jab to inch inside before exploding with uppercuts and overhands. He threw punches in bunches, not all of them landing clean, but the ones that did were powerful and clearly felt. Ford began to slow just slightly, and with that, Ball's confidence grew. The 4th and 5th rounds saw Ball ramp up his pressure. He wasn't just marching forward. He was doing it with purpose. He started feinting with the jab and then ripping to the body. His uppercuts through the middle were landing consistently, snapping Ford's head back and forcing him to hold or escape. Ford's slick defense was still there, but he wasn't getting the same snap on his punches. The accumulation of Ball's relentless attack was beginning to show in Ford's body language. Ford's corner urged him to stay composed, to not get dragged into Ball's kind of fight. For moments, he listened. In the 6th, he reestablished some control, catching Ball with a beautiful counter left that drew a visible reaction. Blood began to trickle from Ball's nose, the result of a clean, long-range shot that reminded everyone of Ford's timing and precision. But if the shot shook Ball, he didn't show it. Instead, it only seemed to energize him. The 7th round was arguably the turning point. Ball trapped Ford on the ropes and unloaded. He threw with both hands, mixing up shots of body and head, landing a brutal uppercut that snapped Ford's chin upward. Ford tucked up well, defending a good portion of the flurry, but the optics were all in Ball's favor. It looked like the smaller fighter was bullying the slick boxer, the kind of visual that sways judges in close fights. From there, Ford appeared to be in survival mode. Ball was walking him down, round after round, his work rate undiminished. Ford had pockets of success, still landing check hooks and sneaky counters, but he was no longer able to keep Ball off for long stretches. Every time Ford found space, Ball closed it. Every time Ford tried to reset, Ball attacked the body or launched a looping right hand that demanded immediate attention. By round 9, Ford's face was swelling and a cut had opened near his left eye. Ball, meanwhile, looked like a man possessed. He wasn't wild. He was measured in his aggression, picking spots, throwing with variety, and punishing Ford whenever he paused. The body shots, in particular, were key. Even when they didn't look spectacular, they wore Ford down, slowed his legs, and made it harder for him to get away. The 10th round was a brawl. Ford, realizing he might be falling behind on the cards, dug deep and exchanged with Ball in the center of the ring. The crowd rose to its feet as both fighters landed bombs. Ford showed heart, standing in the pocket and letting his hands go. He landed a big left hand midway through the round that briefly stopped Ball in his tracks. But Ball responded with a violent uppercut that once again snapped Ford's head back and kept the momentum on his side. Going into the championship rounds, it was clear that the fight had evolved into a battle of willpower as much as skill. Ford's clean punching had given way to survival instincts, while Ball was ramping up for a dramatic finish. The 11th round saw more of the same, Ball pressing, Ford retreating, and both men exchanging brutal combinations and spurts. Then came round 12, a sensational final round that encapsulated everything this fight was about. Ford came out knowing he needed something big to swing the scorecards. He threw with power and urgency, targeting Ball's body and head with fast combinations. Ball answered with fire of his own, throwing 6 and 7 punch flurries, landing yet another massive uppercut that left Ford reeling. Blood streamed from both men's faces. Their corners screamed instructions. The crowd roared with every exchange. And yet, neither man gave in. As the final bell rang, both fighters dropped their arms and stared at each other, acknowledging the war they had just waged. It was the kind of fight that didn't need a belt to be remembered, but the stakes made it all the more significant. The decision was close, and for a moment, the crowd held its breath. But when the scorecards were read, it was Nick the Wing Ball who was declared the winner and the new WBA Featherweight Champion of the world. The eruption in his corner was a mix of triumph, relief, and vindication. Ball had chased this moment his whole life, and he got it the hard way, through pure, relentless determination. Ray Ford, for his part, was gracious in defeat. He had started strong, shown class and intelligence, and battled until the final bell. But Ball's pressure, chin, and brutal body attack had been too much in the end. It was a fight that had everything: elite boxing, dramatic shift in momentum, physical damage, and a thrilling final stretch. For Ball, it was the crowning moment of his career. For Ford, it was a painful setback, but not one without respect. He proved once again that he belongs at the top level and, at just 25 years old, will surely have more title opportunities in the future. This bout will be remembered as one of the great action fights of the featherweight division in recent years, a pure collision of styles, heart, and determination. It was not just a fight for a belt. It was a test of who could endure more, who could adjust, and who could rise in the face of adversity. And on this night, it was Nick Ball who rose highest. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for more updates.